Welcome in everybody to the KC Sports Report. I'm your host Michael Darcy, and today I'm joined by Michael Hebner, and we're going to break down the Week 13 matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs Kingdom, we just saw an absolute beatdown of the Oakland Raiders. The Chiefs just beat the Raiders at Arrowhead Stadium by a final score of 40-9. Yeah, that's right, Chiefs Kingdom, 40-9. This Chiefs defense came to play. They shut down this Raiders offense and Josh Jacobs. I mean, what can I say about this Chiefs offense? This offense was electric, dynamic, all the adjectives you want to use. They were just great. And I mean, there's just so many different things that we can take away from this game, but the biggest thing in my opinion is how will this Chiefs defense performed? Because everybody was saying that Josh Jacobs and this Raiders offense was going to run all over this Chiefs defense. And even though that Josh Jacobs had over 100 yards, how many points did this Chiefs defense give up? Only 9. And 7 of those points, actually 6 of those points, because Travarius Ward had a blocked extra point attempt that he ran in for 2 points. So they only put up 6 points off a touchdown in the last minute of the game. So I mean, hats off to this Chiefs defense. I have not seen that kind of performance out of them this year. So, I mean, what do you think, Michael? That, in my opinion, that was one of the best games that I've seen this season. But what do you think that the Chiefs did right, and what do you think they did wrong?
Well, I think the biggest takeaway for me was the fact that they didn't have a single penalty in that game.
Which was like the third time in the franchise's history that that's ever happened.
I mean, that is how you win games, by not making stupid mistakes, by not, allowing the other team to get a bunch of free yardage because someone missed their assignment or someone panicked and did the wrong thing. So that's huge. Penalties was an issue earlier in the season, especially for the defense. So it's nice that, we just had a game without having a single penalty. Obviously, defense really stepped up. Granted, Derek Carr isn't the greatest quarterback, especially in cold weather, so I wasn't.
But here's the thing. He gave up 2 picks, 1 pick six to Juan Thornhill, and I mean, he got sacked 4 or 5 times. So, I mean, this Chiefs defense just tormented him all game long, and I don't care how bad he is.
But, I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be a close game by any means. I was expecting a blowout, not even to the point that it was, but at least, 28-3 or something. I wasn't. There was no way in my mind that Derek Carr would have put up enough points to match the Chiefs. I thought it was going to be an easy win.
See, in my preview, I kept saying the Chiefs are going to blow out the Raiders, and Raiders fans kept saying in the comments, well, you can't underestimate the Raiders. And I was like, well, yeah, I can. They got blown out by the Jets. And this Chiefs defense absolutely destroyed them. From start to finish, they did their job, and this offense was basically just laying it on thick. Because I don't think the Raiders ever had a shot in this game. And this just brings a huge smile to my face. This is a team win. Both sides did their job. And honestly, this defense was more impressive than the offense.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest concern right now is the Chiefs' offense has really slowed down. I would say like the second half of the season. I mean, Mahomes had his 400 yard. I think he threw 4 touchdowns on his first game back after his injury. But ever since that game, everything's kind of just gone downhill a little bit. He's been pretty conservative. It was nice to see him move around a bit. I mean, he ran several times, even getting a rushing touchdown, which was kind of refreshing to see. But at the same time, you were kind of holding your breath. But I don't know.
But here's my rebuttal to that. We don't need Patrick Mahomes to throw 4 touchdowns and 500 yards every game. We just need to see him lead this team down the field and put them in a position to win. And Patrick Mahomes does that every game. So I'm not disappointed in him. I think that he's doing his job.
My problem was I felt that there were so many missed opportunities by the offense. I mean, there was that one play that would have been a touchdown. Kelsey missed it by like a hand. I mean, it was like a foot away from him. The ball was right there. He was at like the 2-yard line. All he had to do was make that catch and go in.
But also, the winds were crazy at Arrowhead Stadium.
I know weather would obviously have played a factor, so I'm not too I'm concerned because I just feel like the offense has declined quite a bit since Mahomes has come back.
That they still put up 40 points. I mean, this offense is not going to be as dynamic as last year because for the most part they had Kareem Hunt. But I mean, now they got some pieces working. It appears that Darrell Williams hurt himself. It looked like to me that he tore his Achilles or snapped his Achilles because
They're saying
it
hamstring.
yeah,
What
but
I
it
just
was
heard
an off the
recently,
ball
but
injury. So regardless, it's not going to be good. But you know what,
yeah,
Chiefs Kingdom, that makes way for Darwin Thompson. And me and Hebner actually had a few words off camera about how
oh
Darwin
yeah, we
Thompson
did.
played in his first game, and I could not be more proud. That's a topic for a different video. But I mean, how proud are you that this kid, a sixth round draft pick, comes in and gets a touchdown, gets those hard yards, and basically in the fourth quarter, basically led them on a long drive. I mean, that's something that we've been complaining about this Chiefs offense all season. They have not been able to prolong drives and run the ball. I mean, so far, I know it's just been one game, but I mean, he did the job.
Well, here's my deal: is it's the fourth quarter. The team has already given up like 31 points to an offense that has just decimated them. They've been on the field the majority of the game. It's the late fourth quarter, and you're bringing in a running back. You know, sure, he's had a lot of hype in the preseason and all that, and everyone says great things, but he did this against a weak team that was even more weakened by the fact that they've been playing most of the game. So to go out there and make him like the next Kareem Hunt, I think is inaccurate. I need to see him play in a first quarter against someone like the Patriots or the 49ers. I need to see him play against a high-caliber defense in a high-caliber game and perform the exact same way he did tonight.
Yeah, I'm not here to crown him as the next Kareem Hunt yet, but I'm
Yeah,
just saying that he was very impressive in the short time that he did play. But I mean, we
I
really
will
can't
say
take a. Oh, go ahead.
I will say I'm a little more. I'm buying more into the fact that at one point he might become the starting running back, because Damian Williams by no means is a good starting running back. I like him as a backup, and I like him as like a transition guy, like
He just
finding
can't
the
stay
next running
healthy.
back. Well, it's healthy. He's just inconsistent. I mean, he hasn't had one game over 100 yards rushing this year. Granted, we do have Patrick Mahomes, so we don't need to be putting up 100 yards rushing, but it would really help to keep the defense off the field. I mean, one
He
of
had
the
that
key
one game against the
reasons.
Vikings, but that's pretty much it.
Well, yeah, and one of the key reasons our defense was able to put up or stop the quarterback, get interceptions, get to the quarterback, is because they're not on the field for 40 minutes a game. You know, it's because our offense can finally run the ball a little bit more. And I mean, McCoy is obviously, he's got a 1-year deal, so he's probably not going to get re-signed next year, which most people will be relieved because he's fumbling the ball practically every other game.
Yeah, that's not good.
But I mean, sure, I'll give it to Thompson for having a great game today compared to what he's done in the past, because he hasn't looked great up until this point.
Yeah.
Granted, yeah, he only had his 5 carries, and yeah, it wasn't all in the same game, but still, you should be able to do something more than just 0-yard gains with that if you're gonna play in the NFL.
True. Okay, so that's a good topic for another video. We're gonna move
Right.
on. I mean, this is just such a great win. I mean, I'm smiling ear to ear because at the end of the day, we blew out the Raiders, and this was a statement game that we needed.
Yeah, and this is huge too for the Patriots, because I think that this was a huge identity builder for the defense. I mean, you could hear the commentators saying how at the beginning of the year the Chiefs' defense was not very. They didn't communicate well. They just weren't
on the same
page. They didn't know who was going where. There was a lot of broken coverages. I mean, sure, they had their moments, but now they're really starting to gel. And this is kind of what I expected early in the season. I wasn't expecting anything like this to start happening until later in the year. And it is. I mean, I can't. Yes, our stats don't show it. And sure, we gave up a ton of yards to the Raiders.
But we stopped them on 3rd and 4th downs.
Yes.
And that's all I care about.
Yeah, and I'm totally fine with bending. It's just as long as you don't break, as long as you don't allow touchdowns, as long as you just give up field goals or a small amount of points, I'm totally okay, because Patrick Mahomes has the capability to put up 50 points every single game.
Yeah, so, I mean, Patrick Mahomes will keep his team in the game, and if this defense starts to come around, I mean, watch out, because the Ravens are good, but, I mean, the Chiefs' offense, in my opinion, is better. And, I mean, their defense, the Chiefs' defense is coming around. So yeah, it's going to be really fun to watch in the playoffs.
Yeah, and, I mean, they're starting to turn into a team where I think that a Super Bowl run is more realistic than it was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, just like you said, this was a huge identity game for the Chiefs. They found out what they can do on defense. It's a big confidence booster, and it's kind of a message to the rest of the league that they need to be respected, and they can do things on the defensive side that will impress a lot of people, because that secondary today was locked down. I mean, there were times where Derek Carr had a lot of time to throw, and he just could not find anywhere to throw it because those guys in the secondary were playing lockdown D. And, I mean, Chris Jones is Chris Jones. He was replying. He was crazy. And, I mean, the defensive line as a whole was good. And Frank Clark left the game with what looked like a neck injury. I mean, they still were able to get it done against Derek Carr. So, right now, this Chiefs team is peaking at the perfect time. It's all about getting hot at the right time towards the end of the season when you're mostly healthy. And, I mean, the Patriots are seeing it. They're not as healthy. Their offense isn't as good. And right now, this Chiefs defense is getting healthy. They got Fuller back. They got Clark back. They got They got Okafor back. I mean, that's a lot, and that will improve their defense. So
yeah, and I think another defensive lineman that rarely gets talked about, and I liked him like when he was first drafted. I really wish they would have played him, was Tano Passanon. I mean, he's 6'7". He's just a huge body guy, and he's got speed, and he can work his way around the quarterback.
Well, so is Derek Nottie. Derek Nottie's instrumental in stopping that run. So, I mean, we could talk about it for hours and hours, but the fact remains is the Chiefs just dominated this game from start to finish, and now they control their own destiny. If the Raiders won this game, the Chiefs would have actually been in the hunt for the playoffs. So, this game was huge, and I'm happy to say that the Chiefs walk out of Week 13 with a victory. The Chiefs win this one at Arrowhead Stadium by a final score of 40-9. The Chiefs go to Week 14 to Foxborough to play the New England Patriots. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you guys like these videos and want to support me, go click the link in the description and go support me on my Patreon. I would more than appreciate it. Thank you to Michael Hepner for joining me in this episode. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the KC Sports Report by Michael Darcy.